focus on fundamentals for directional bias and technicals for entries. What we had last week was just very plain and simple, and this week it's equivalently the same, not much of a change. Later today, and we'll be looking at the NZD CPI, nothing much, just basic stuff this week, and then the financing rate in the euro, and that's the most important thing which we'll be looking at this week. Alright, we're pricing in a holding of rates, but we are expecting the market to just react basically to it. The statement is the most important thing. And then we have the Tokyo CPI. You have the Tokyo CPI. Then nothing much. That's just it. We have PMIs this week though. We have speeches by chair central bank governors, but not too important. Looking at the technicals, of course, we're still bullish on DXY, bearish on the yen, kind of bullish on euro, kind of bullish on Swiss. Swiss and CAD is a kind of neutral. Aussie is neutral. NZD is bearish. NZD is bearish. So looking at this, yes, I've spoken about this. We have the break. Okay, so this is I'm looking at something like this. Going to the daily, the structure is just there. So we have this low, we had this low here, so this are high, but then this grabbed liquidity on the 4 hours at a supply zone, but then still broke structure to the top side. So I'm expecting a push to the upside, basically on DXY. On the yen is bearish, so this is what this was the analysis earlier this month, and I'm still looking at this playing out. For that, you go to your chart, watch list. The most important thing I'm looking at is a USD pairs. So let's take a little look at this. It is weekly. It's kind of closed massively bullish. Okay, so we have a little imbalance here. So looking at the daily time frame, that imbalance has been mitigated. There is nothing there. I don't expect the market to pull back there. We had this break of structure, so that's just the break of structure. This is H4, so I'm expecting a push higher. And why? Because this is trading range for this, so would push higher at least to break 151 area, then we can see a pullback to this imbalance of 145, then continue to the upside. That's just what I'm saying. But the most interesting area is this area of supply actually. Okay, so Swiss on the daily time frame have been holding this. Alright, going to the 4 hours, let me clear everything. I'm still in this position. I entered this on Friday at this area. So this is the imbalance I'm looking at price coming into. So this would be this before probably shorts, but with strength coming into the DXY, I'm looking at the next 2 to 3 months of strength. The card is equivalently the same, which is even more interesting because I'm looking at this as liquidity. So price should head to this point, okay, before we could see some deep pullbacks. So this on market open, we should expect a push to the upside, and then we can see the NZD. Okay, so this was a beautiful shot on the H4. Alright, we had this break, we had our range, we had our supply. Okay, and this dropped, but I was not in this position, so this was just me looking at why I missed this. And you can look at GU too. Okay, so this is what we spoke about. We took this out, so on the weekly, what we do have is structure to the upside, right? But then we have this little break of structure. We are bullish on the monthly, but then supply, we have our supply. I don't know, we could call this the entire supply area. Remember, we have a high, we have a low. So let's look at this high too. So this could be that next high to push price. Where's the next imbalance? Somewhere here. Okay, so if you look at it from your weekly, so we're expecting price to head to 1.3, that's about 400 pips. On the weekly, that's it. On the daily, we have a fantastic supply area for swing positions, because there is nothing here, there is no imbalance anywhere here. So this was mitigated from this area, so the only imbalance we have is this. So we're expecting price to break this a little bit, grab liquidity into the supply, then we can push down. So that's what we're looking out for GU. For EU, so GU is actually the perfect setup. For EU, this demand is what I'm looking out for, but you have to see push, then this should be a form of supply area, then can short one more time. So PMIs might come out terrible for euro, or the financing rate might come out, statements might come out a little bit dovish, and then you know that the euro will tank. But let's go to yen weakness. So looking at the card yen, this is bullish. We have a little imbalance here. What is D1 saying? There is nothing here. There is nothing. It was already mitigated liquidity. Alright, so I'm expecting it to just continue to rally to the upside. We have the EJ, it's equivalently the same. We have the GJ. Alright. So looking at it from the weekly, right? So this must be taken out, which it does, and has to go higher to at least this point first. So you're looking at 200 pips. We go to D1. This was mitigated, so there is nothing here again. The structure is this, and then we have to push one more time before we can see a deeper push and continue. It's just straight simple. So that's it for the week.